Yes, indeed, folks. Listen to Blue Please here on cynicalbrit.com with myself, Total Biscuit. Okay, so I'll do a few more of these, then I'll pick a winner at random from the hat, and then we can look for an illusion of choice, perhaps. Right, okay. Just a reminder, for those who have no idea what I'm talking about, I asked on the last week's show, provide 5-man bosses that you would like to see as 25-man raids. Okay. Let's have a look. Here's one from Esper. Most heroic boss fights are really simple, but one that I think would make a good concept would be something like Bran Bronzebeard's event from Halls of Stone. And hear the cries and gnashing of teeth already, but consider if they made it more like the Valathera encounter instead of the snooze fest that the heroic 5-man one is. We've got plenty of boss fights which are just simply kill this big thing. I enjoy the fights like Cthulhu and Yogg-Saron, where while you have a main boss target, it's not something that you have to tank. Fights where you have to work outside of the big thing needs to die mechanic stretch your raid. So yes, protect some guy for 5 minutes from waves of ads and mini-bosses. Yeah, actually. Yeah. That's good. I like that. That's actually really nice. I am a big fan of that one. Alright, that's another Herald Village, no big surprise there. Here's one is a blast from the past. This from Sank the Tank. He says, I was thinking maybe the Chamber of 7 from BRD. Each of the 7 dwarves have a different aura that has a negative effect on the raid and a buff for all of the others should they come active before the previous one dies. You have something like 90 seconds to kill each boss mob with something like 800k health for casters and 1.2 million for melees, and say 3 million for the last guy in 10-man. Failing to do so will make the others come active. However, if you do make the next one come up right away, you can get extra loot from the chests at the end and for every 30 seconds that you save. Okay, that's cool. Starting the encounter by talking to the final mob. He asks you if you want to do how you want to do the fight, aka how many waves. Say 7 waves to do them at the time, blah blah blah, and you get extra ads, etc. That's a relatively cool fight. I think the problem with fights like that is you've got to bear in mind that racing fights that are DPS races do not scale well when you overgear them. Which happens, honestly. There's plenty of fights now that have become trivial as a result of the DPS race mechanic being beaten into the floor. And the same with like, hey, loads of damage. Oh, it doesn't matter because we've all got way more health than we should have at this stage of the game. I like to see fights that scale properly, abilities that are stat neutral, yeah? Something that is threatening regardless of how much gear you've got. Indeed, it's nice to see some abilities that are as threatening to some guy with 50k HP as they are to a guy with 25. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. But hey, there you go. Right, I'm going to pick a winner, folks, and it's a tough one, it really is. It's down to 2. I think I'm going to have to give it to the... Let's find it. I'm going to have to give it to Jarrett, ladies and gentlemen. That is a really great description of how the Van Cleef encounter could have a bow, and there are freaking sharks in it. And honestly, I'm a big fan of that, so congratulations. Email the Mullock at cynicalbrit.com, Jarek, and I shall give you your little Griffin Pet. Yes, indeed. Okay, folks, it is time for the one, the only, the indisputable illusion of choice. Fantastic. Right, let's go and have a look and see what we've got in the mailbag in terms of the illusions of choice. Here's an interesting one. I like this. Let's have a quick look at it. And it's funny enough, actually, considering we've been talking about RAF. This one's about services and cost. This is from Silvio Carcace, and he says this. Since July 10th, 2008, Activision Blizzard was formed by combining Activision, one of the world's leading independent publishers, well, you wouldn't really call it an independent publisher per se, would you? Never mind. Of interactive entertainment and Vivendi Games, Vivendi Interactive's entertainment business, which includes Blizz Entertainment, blah, blah, blah. What would you like to see Blizzard add that would make you buy it to increase their bottom line? Current additions to increase revenue would be character customization, in-game pets, etc., etc. And should these, quote, services really cost the player more? That's from Love Tank of Stonewall EU, and it provides an addendum working out a few things. This is the estimated cost of what a player has spent since launch. World of Warcraft original game was $40 to $50. November 23rd, 2004 to January 15th, 2007 is 26 months times $15, that's $390. January the 16th, 2007, which is when the Burning Crusade launched, that's another $40 to $50 paid. Well, it was more like 30 to 40 actually. February 2007 and November 2008, 21 months between the launch of Burning Crusade and the launch of Wrath. That's $315. November the 13th, 2008, buy Wrath the Lich King for $30 to $40 for... A little while, anyway. And then November 2008 to April 2010, that's another 17 months times 15. $255. The total cost for WoW without any additional services whatsoever, ladies and gentlemen, up until this point is, according to this guy, and this is pretty accurate, $1,080. Yep, you spent $1,080 over the course of, well, 5 or 6 years. And Cataclysm, of course, is going to be 40 to 50 plus 6 months more of payment. Pro tip, ladies and gentlemen, for those in the UK, and indeed, you might want to check this out in the US as well. I can go to Amazon.co.uk right now and pre-order Cataclysm for £17. That's a bargain. Go do it. Go do it right now. Yes, indeed. Go check it out. £17. That's a reasonable price. Put the pre-order on. Right, so should we pay for those services, and what services would we like to see? Well, I'm okay with paying for cosmetic stuff to a point. There are certain games that base their business models around this. And that's fine if they base their business model on it from the get-go. The problem is that a lot of these games have a different payment structure. Some of them are free to play, some of them have a way lower subscription rate or something like that. Some of them, they just work differently. Whereas WoW, up until this point, all of this stuff like pets and everything have always been in-game, as in stuff that you can get. I objected strongly to the introduction of pets as buy these items. Now, Blizzard apparently took notice of some people complaining and decided, well, we can make more money, and yet we can actually create something that people will buy. And that was these, what are they called? These plushy things, yes. You can buy a plushy Wind Rider or a plushy Griffin, and you also get the little in-game pet as well. That's fine. That's actually good. I'm in support of that, because you're getting a physical item. Yeah? It's basically like those TCG cards, only you're getting something even better, even more tangible. Which services should we pay for, which shouldn't we? Well, I don't know. It's questionable. I mean, to be honest, stuff like character transfer, the only reason that I can see behind charging for it would be for the initial setup, which is already been dealt with. So, that's fine. And then, also, as a deterrent. It sounds weird, doesn't it? But it's a deterrent. It deters people from hopping all over the damn place. Now, of course, a 3-month cooldown would do that as well. But honestly, stuff like character transfer, stuff like race transfer and everything like this, I posted on Twitter a while ago that to get a character, a faction transfer and a transfer to another server is like £40. £40! That's the price of a brand new AAA PlayStation 3 game to move your character from one server to another. I'm sorry, that's garbage. It is. It's terrible. How can you honestly expect someone to pay that? I mean, quite frankly, to some degree, it's freaking unethical. Honestly, it is. You're asking someone to pay a ton of money, a rather expensive amount of money, the cost of a brand new PlayStation 3 or 360 game. You could buy a PC game and still have enough money to get something from the 3 for 10. Or get a takeaway, whatever. To move server to play with their friends. It's garbage. It's terrible. You should not have to pay for that at all. Bring back the damn cooldowns as far as I'm concerned. Here's what you should do, right? You want to get a perfect balance for the system? Here you go. Make the transfer free. And then say every 3 months you can transfer for free. But if you want to transfer any more than that, then you got to pay. That's what I would do, honestly. That sounds like a reasonable idea to me. Doesn't it? Why not? Now, dumb things like cosmetic changes, to be honest, that's more of a case of milk idiots. Yeah? I'm okay with a stupid tax. I'm fine with a stupid tax. Okay, cool, whatever. That's fine. If you want to do this character recustomization and garbage like that, okay, pay a nominal fee. I'm not okay with charging for services that are actually required in order to play with your friends or to transfer and go and play with a guild on another server. I am not cool with that at all, especially when Blizzard has done basically nothing to deal with realms like, say, Mazrigo, that has about 20 alliance on total. No proper transfers to it. They've done nothing. No server merges, nothing. It's garbage. Honestly. That's money grubbing. I don't like it. But stuff like little cosmetic things like changing the way that your character looks or a name change, fine, charge for that, whatever. I don't care. That's stupid cosmetic stuff. It doesn't matter to any reasonable player. But it does make you think. $1,080. Was it worth it? Nah, maybe. I mean, obviously I didn't pay as much as that because I keep cancelling my sub whenever I'm bored. But to be honest, yeah, to some degree it is. I mean, think about the money that you could have saved or indeed spent on something else. Think about the price of a DVD, the price of a movie, the price of other games. $15 a month is not an awful lot. I don't even notice that going out my bank account. I just keep my account running just for the sake of it. $15, big deal. £8.99 in fact. Again, big deal. Spend more than that on a pizza. Right, ladies and gents, I think I'm about done for today, except we've got some shout-outs to give out, so email the Murloc at cynicalbrit.com. Alternatively, you can tweet me, that's twitter.com/totalbiscuits. You can do that too. You can also send me a message over the Tiny Chat or the IRC, whichever you prefer. Last 5 minutes of the show, ladies and gents, and then I shall be going away to eat curry. Sounds like a good idea, eh? Chicken chom chom is on the cards. Yes, indeed. Delicious. Right, a couple of shout-outs first. First to Avatas, who I had the pleasure of meeting in Holland. A very nice guy. As I recall, he was the one who wearing the expensive suit. Yes, quite. I felt rather jealous. Anyway, he can have a shout-out. There you go. It's his birthday today. Congratulations. Also, a few shout-outs to go out from the email box that came in earlier. A shout-out to the semi-dead Cynical Brit Bad Company 2 server. Yeah, indeed, a lot of us stopped playing. We need to start that again, ladies and gents. Yeah, indeed. I'll tell you what. Here's an idea. So, give me half an hour. Give me half an hour, then we're going to go play Bad Company 2. Anyone that's got Bad Company 2 who's listening live, come on to the vent server at the top of the hour, and we're going to play some Bad Company 2. So let's make that happen. A shout out to the Bad Company 2 server. All of the information is available on cynicalbrit.com, or alternatively, you can just look for cynicalbrit.com on the server list for Bad Company 2. Come play in about half an hour, ladies and gents. Go do it. And that shout out was from Tarim. Let's have a look at what else we've got. A shout out to the Restless Natives, my new guild on Hellfire EU Alliance. Big grats to us for down in the 7th boss in Ice Crown. Dreamwalker went down, or rather up. Special shout out to Rack from Golden Phoenix, who I know is or should be listening. Thanks for the great show. That's from Psy Trip. What else have we got? We've got a shout out to Rookthan and his Blood Queen 25-man failure. It really was a failure, let's be honest. A shout out to him for getting them down to 15% with only 22 guildies online. Not bad at all. I'm gonna give a shout out to B-Drone just for existing, even though he didn't ask for it. There you go. And a shout out to Saracen for having a nice day off today. Well, it is Saturday. It is rather nice, isn't it? Let's see what else we've got. Shout out to all the sad players in EU because the login servers are dead. Oh, boo-hoo. Yes, I don't care. Come play Bad Company 2 with us instead. A shout out to Furian, or whatever the case, for being up at such an ungodly hour, 5 a.m., or indeed 4 a.m. to wake up for a live show. You're crazy. A shout out to the Status Quo Guild on Deathwing US. And I'd like to give a shout out to the following people in the chat right now. Raven for a fantastic hat. Boss Waddy because he can't keep things in his room out of his mouth. Cradelius, who is preparing for nuclear war. Tone Slice, who I can only see the top of the head of, which means something lurks beneath. Cordain, who is looking kind of rather disinterested, honestly. Avatar, who just cannot stop wiggling his arms around. B-Drone, who is here to reap your soul. Hope and Despair, who is, well, looking rather despairing, honestly. And who the hell is that? Rukan. Yes, he has a headset. He looks relatively normal. In fact, the only normal person in the chat room at this point in time. Yeah. Get out. We need some more abnormal people in here. Breaking it. You're breaking it! Let's see what else we've got in the IRC. Plenty more shout-outs to come. A shout-out to Elwin in International Chaos on Bal Nazar EU. Keep it rocking. That's from Dogazaro. Shout-out to Raven in the hat chat for wearing the most amazing hat in the chat. Look, I'm rhyming. That's from AZ. Don't give up your day job. A shout-out to Garrett Wheeler for not having... I'm not going to say that at all, you idiot. A shout-out to Have Done Firefighter. Okay, that's from Nymph. There you go. You've done the Firefighter. You probably overgeared it, so it doesn't really matter, does it? Alright, one more. Let's have a look at the Twitter. Is there one there? Let's do one more. I'll give a shout out to Mini F, because Mini F just seems to be annoyed for no reason. There we go. Right, I'm done, ladies and gents. Thank you ever so much for listening to Blue Please here on CynicalBrit.com. Go check out the rest of the shows and all that good stuff. If you wish to sponsor an episode and get your product or website advertised, or even guild, you can do that. Click the sponsors button at the top of the screen. Of course, the website is run by your sponsorship and our sponsors, ugtservers.com. Helps us pay for stuff. We've also got a couple of t-shirts available, and we've got a lot more coming. Just check them out on the website and just scroll down to the bottom there. And of course, the Edge of Insanity Guild sponsored this episode of Blue Please, so they own it. And in the whole and part. I'm out of here, folks. Thank you ever so much for listening, and good night. So, sharks, apparently. Sharks, you say? Fast as a shark. Good night.